All right, we're gonna get right into it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. There's a town called Clark Township in New Jersey, and it is said to have been a blatantly racist place. Now, it is said to have excluded black people, or it wants to exclude black people. I'm all for that. I'm all for private geographic areas stating that we don't want white people in here, we don't want black people in here, we don't want brown, red, yellow, or other in here. I don't know if how that breaks down. If somebody's mixed or not. What is the distinction there? Is it the one drop of blood rule? I don't know how that works, but I agree with this, but I don't agree with it as it stands right now. In the future, once we have capitalism, once we have free markets, that will be the day when we can have places like this. But until that day, this is completely, harmful and reckless and disgusting. The mayor has alleged to have been the one behind it. He resigned due to separate fraudulent cases, something like that. There's a suspended police chief and a police director that are a part of all this as well. So this is a serious thing, and once again, happy Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Today is a day where we recognize from Mr. Troystar Terrain's book, his quote. I will read about Dr. King. The original player hater who despised more qualified Negroes who spoke about taking justice by any means necessary. A total hypocrite whose agenda quashed the rising spirit of anarchy in the heart of black America. As he hid behind the cross and he hated being oppressed, but realized it enhanced his Mac game. To call him an intellectual coward would be giving him too much credit. His mystified hypothetical dream, with no economic structure, now hangs over the Negro's head like a Mississippi noose. That is just a perspective. Mr. Troystar Terrain is multifaceted. He has, a way of being very provocative, and then he'll back up and say, Dr. King was very, important, very integral to the movement for rights for all people, especially people of color. That's the reality there. In relation to this case, I mean, it's just another example of how people are taking on the proper amount of ideals. That this is all ideas. Everything's about this is about ideas. Considering and concerning whatever is the truth. So Emilio, can you be my lawyer? Can you pay me $4,000 an hour? I will be your lawyer, for sure. $4,000 an hour sounds pretty good for me. But it just hit me. I was like, wow, a township in New Jersey. This isn't the deep south. This isn't Alabama. This isn't Georgia. This isn't Florida. This isn't Tennessee. This isn't any of those states. This is New Jersey. There's a lot of hatred everywhere. That's the thing you have to realize about the hatred of this country. It's all encompassing. It's in the west, it's in the east, it's in the south, it's in the north. It's all over the place. So it's just concentrated. So the south was the deep south. It was concentrated. So that's why there was so much, different things. That's why, the south had abject slavery, and just to go by the fact that New Jersey is a northern state, it kind of reflects on that whole notion. And it's terrible. It's a terrible thing, I think, right now as it stands. According to that, if this is at all true. Um, this is a serious matter, a very serious case, and well, hit my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo, Emilio. Make sure you hit my Cash App and Venmo. So it just hit me. I was just like, this is such a strange thing to happen. You know, a whole township. Because that's the thing with New Jersey. It's like townships, these towns that they have. They have Gibbstown. They have, you know, boroughs. They have Willingboro. They have different things like that. Um, Deptford, West Deptford. You know, different locations like that. Does he want to be a lawyer? Where can I contact him? Go to Venmo. It's SKYLERIZED. That's where you can find me. And you can donate and tell other people to donate too. But yeah, so this is very challenging. This is a very challenging kind of understanding that this town in New Jersey should be so neglectful of people of color, especially blacks. It very much so reflects on the idea of being a racist, literally racist. I mean, in the sense of the term racist, it's hard. I try to remember what the term racist actually means. It's concern for one's own race. That's what racism literally means. Concern for one's own race, not prejudice. I think this is a prejudice story. This is more like people being very vicious and nasty towards blacks. On, you know, and this story comes out on Martin Luther King Day. He was a staunch supporter, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, to be exact. He was a staunch supporter of equal rights, of exhibiting, you know, proper etiquette and proper actions, you know, towards all people. I think that, you know, that resonates still. And it's still something that, you know, will always be something that will be with us as long as his day remains. He will forever be enshrined into the minds of Americans and people around the world. He earned a Nobel Peace Prize, when he was like 34 or something like that. I can't remember how old he was, but he was like very young. He was like 33 or 34 years old when he earned the Nobel Peace Prize. So, I mean, it's like we got a long way to go. But the thing is, I am for racist towns. I'm for that. I'm actually in agreement with it. I do agree with racist towns. I agree with the fact that people should be able to discriminate and say, we don't like people here. We don't like your kind. Go away. Because that's for private property, not government property. All government property should be for everyone. You know, the military, all that, you know, the police force, law courts, all that should be handled by everyone, every color, stripe, you know, whatever the case may be. So I just, you know, really, you know, think that it's possible for people to take into account the various functions of government. That's the thing. Government should be the only role that government should play is to protect individual rights. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It should only protect property rights and individual rights, because that's it's included in property rights. So I mean, you have to look at it objectively. You have to look at it very objectively, because, you know, I mean, what, you know, you think we should have an all white town? Yes, I think there should be an all black town. I think there should be an all red town and an all yellow town. Like I said, it's gonna be kind of goofy for the people. I mean, like I said, it's gonna be it's a one drop kind of situation. If you have one drop of whatever blood, then that, I guess that you're relegated to that place. It's so this is exactly what Ayn Rand called about collectivism, especially racism. She called it barnyard form of collectivism. It's a barnyard form. It's like a, like animals. It's like you're not even human beings. You're just chunks of flesh, and depending on whether melanin count you have in your skin, that's what determines your character. That's what determines your intelligence. That's what determines your ability to function in the real world. Just because you have a skin tone that's darker than somebody else's. That's the scary part. That's the very scary part, because the town is it was run by the mayor, like I said, Sal. I can't remember his last name. It's flowing right now. But he allegedly, had more traffic stops. There was like a percentage more traffic stops for black people than there were for whites. It's just a big mess. It's just a whole mess predicated on prejudice, predicated on irrationality and irrationalism. All these things combined into one specific ideal. And that's the sad part. That's the part that really is galvanizing, because it just rips at your mind when you think like, damn, it's 2026 and we have a town that wants to be, it says, we don't want blacks in here. It should only be whites. Maybe in 2056 that could be true, when capitalism takes over and shows people, specifically what it is about. So I think that if you have the power to enforce laws and different things like that, and say that blacks can't come in here, you have to be prepared to say we're absolute racists. We're completely racial. Not even in the sense of the dictionary sense of the word, concern for one's own people, one's own race. It's a prejudice. It's a prejudice that is at the heart of all this, at the crux of all this. Evie Martinez, what's the problem, Evie? Why do you have a problem? You're saying, what? Huh? You seem confused. What's confusing about it? I can clear it up for you. It's very simple. A township in New Jersey wants to have it all black. Wants all blacks. That's very simple. I think that's a clear-cut example. Let me find it. So it's all about that. It's all about disgusting racism, as the idea of prejudice. It's a very disgusting thing. His name is Bonacorso, Salvatore Sal Bonacorso. So he's Italian apparently. And it shows that black has been stopped 3.7 times more than white drivers. Hispanics have been pulled over 2.2 times more than lighter hued counterparts. What's going on, Catsfire? How you doing, girl? Salute to you. One moment. Let me. I don't care. I'm jumping out the window. Okay. Yeah. So this is heavy stuff on They like to shorten it. I'm only shortening it to MLK Day. But it's Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Put some respect on the man's name. Definitely put some respect on the man's name. He took a bullet for the cause. He had boots on the ground almost everywhere, just about everywhere. Selma, Birmingham, Atlanta, uh, Memphis. He had boots on the ground. So you have to respect that. MLK Boulevard is very scary. Very true. Any MLK Boulevard is going to be a frightening place to be. Casfire, send me an email. Send me an email, girl. It's at what? Excuse me, SkylerSaunders@gmail.com. SkylerSaunders@gmail.com. I would appreciate that. But yeah, that's a fact. Let's talk about that for a little while. The fact that every single, or not every single, but most of the, Chris Rock made a joke about it. It's ironic. He said, he said most Martin Luther King Jr. drives or boulevards or avenues, or they're the most violent places to be. Yeah, MLK from Boondocks. He's great. You have to be a really big supporter of Boondocks if you can go back to go just put in Google, search for MLK Boondocks birthday and see what happens. See, it's a really funny clip. I was big on the clip. I mean, everybody says that. Oh, I was so big on the comic strip before there was the animated series. Like, I'm just saying what it was. I used to read the comics on the newspaper just to read the Boondocks. Like, that's how it was for me. That was how it was. So, yeah. So the the MLK episode from the Boondocks is a classic. It should have won an Emmy. It was just that good. It showed, not president, Martin Luther King Jr. if he had lived to see, to live to his 80s or 90s, what it would have been like, what it would have been, how he would have functioned in life, and how he would have evaluated blacks, especially during this time period in hip hop and everything that goes like that. Would he be surprised? Would he be agitated? Would he be, just SMH the whole time, just shaking my head, like just thinking on, how much regression, has been made instead of progress or progression has been made. So I just think that's a good point, Bumba. That's a good point. And thank you, I always mess your name up. Let me say it. Cas Fire. Hit me up with a email, young lady. I'd appreciate it. But anyway, so that is a reality that we must contend with, and then we have these stories. Townships, whole townships in parts of states in New Jersey, in the east, in the north, that are so. I mean, look at Boston, look at Massachusetts, one of the most racist, harsh places. I actually loved it. It's all on personal basis. I had a snowflake, a young snow bunny. I caught one. She was beautiful. She was funny. She was very wicked smart, wicked smart, wicked smart. But she was very smart. We had good times. We went all over the place. We went to the symphony. We went to August Wilson play. We heard Beethoven and Mendelssohn. We saw the movie. We saw Hunger Games. We saw, we did a lot of things. It was a really great time. It was really great, and it was all from a concert. We went to a concert, uh, um, Odd Future, Odd Future concert, and I just picked her up, and the rest is history. It was a great time. It was a wonderful time. So I'm very, excited, to say, that, I did not experience any racial hatred. In fact, I was on the T. They call it the T. That's their subway system. But nobody calls it the subway. They call it the T. Just like in New York, nobody calls it the subway. They call it the train. Um, I was on the T, and I was just standing. A guy caught me wearing a Boston Red Sox hat. That's an anthem to Spike Lee. He would probably slap my face if he knew I was wearing a Boston Red Sox hat. But anyway, so I was wearing the hat, and he just was like, "Hey, so you're a fan?" I was like, "No, not really a fan. I'm just a supporter. That's my line. Usually, I say about people, about teams." And he said, "Oh yeah, you know what? I got these tickets." I was like, "What?" And he gave me tickets to the game. Now, little did I know that my crazy ass wouldn't be able to go to the game because put into um I would be put into a mental facility. I'll be put into the psych ward, the loony bin, the nut hut, the cuckoo's nest, the puzzle factory, whatever you want to call it. This has so many names. But I was put into that, so I had no chances of using the tickets. But just the gesture was enough for me to know this white guy. He was upstanding. We were cool. Everything was all right. We just got to a light conversation, and we were just talking about the Red Sox, and he just handed me the tickets. It was awesome. I did not encounter close to interracial. I don't know. I can't prove it. I don't know. We have to go back there and say if they say the same thing. But when I went, that was 2012. I went back 4 years later. I think it was in 2016, and went with my dad to see another August Wilson production. How I Learned What I Learned. The other production was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but that was with the girlfriend I had at the time. But with my dad, we went to see that play, and it just jumped across my mind. I was just like, "What is this?" Like they had the restaurateur, the maitre d, I guess it was the maitre d. She was like, could you just limit your time, to about half an hour or something like that? We've got, people coming in. I don't know if that, like, I'm stupid. That's probably racism, but I didn't really catch it. And I couldn't prove it. I couldn't say, well, damn, that's pretty, racist. My dad and I still think of it like, yeah, that's kind of sketchy. But other than that, I had no other incidents that would be described as racist. I would not describe it as racist in any other way. So going back to New Jersey, this township, what's the name of the township? Clark Township. It says a civil rights lawsuit claims that town leaders and police officials in Clark Township oversaw racially discriminatory traffic stops and harassment of black and non-white motorists. So it could be a possibility. It could be possible that this racial or racist kind of connotation is brought up in a place like New Jersey. New Jersey is known for racism as well, very much so. So that's something that we have to contend with. We have to fight, no matter what. We have to be on the vanguard for that. Um, it's really very. Put a one up if you're in the live chat right now. Put a one up if you're in the live chat right now. Let me see where you are. Bumba's in here. Okay, so there's one more, two more. Put a one up if you're in the live chat. Bumba's in here. He's just been quiet. He must be listening to my dumb ass. Listen. Another one. But yeah, so that is the truth behind that. That is the Clark Township in New Jersey. Don't want black people in there. If it's 2056, probably, if we're still here, if capitalism is taking root as the social system of the United States fully and without any controls or regulations or anything like that, then there can be a Clark Township, no blacks. I can get down with that. A private organization taking over a town and saying that they don't want any coloreds, any Negroes, any niggers in there. African Americans, foundational black Americans, blacks, Negroids. I mean, how many ways can you say it? Between the Indians and the blacks, they have Native Americans and blacks. I should say that's the ones that they like to call each other, I guess. But they really don't want to be called Native Americans. They like to be called by their tribes, and they shouldn't be tribes. They should be individuals. So it's just a sad thing too. You guys. Oh my God! Shut up! Shut up! God damn it! I hate that. They just have these ads. You gotta put it on mute all the time. They just have these ads that jump up. I hate that. God damn it. Was on the phone. Okay. Handling business. Handling those $1 million deals, I'm sure, Bumba. $1 million deals going down. Was on the phone. Okay. Understood. You're number 2, though, in the top fans list. Kazai's number 3. Because Cat's Fire is number 3. So, where's Rod? Where is Rod? I haven't seen Rod in so long. I have no idea. He was on Star's show, Mr. Troy Star Terrain show. He was. I saw Rottweiler and it had the waffle in the short form in the shape of Texas. I was just like, that's Rottweiler. What the hell? Where is he? He's not on my show anymore. A lot of people dropped off. I'm not mad. I'm getting money in other places that it doesn't even matter. So I'm not mad. People can drop off all they want. I can get paid still. I think he got blocked. I didn't block him. Somebody else must have blocked him. I didn't block Rottweiler. I blocked Texas. I blocked him definitely. I blocked the next Texas. I blocked him. I've been blocking people pretty frequently now, but it's all on the same, it's all predicated on the same idea. If you say you're under 18, if you say you don't got no money, if you're going to disrespect the women of the house, and especially Holly, she's the woman of the house, she's the lady of the house, you're not going to do that. I'm not going to allow you to do that. You're going to get blocked. But I don't remember blocking Rottweiler. If I did, that was my fault. Or he must have said something off color and warranted getting blockage. All right, to sum up though, the whole idea of people being barred from various townships in New Jersey, that's still very unnerving and should be stopped at all costs, especially on a day like this. All right, some more lighter fare, lighter news stories. We have to talk about T.I., Clifford Harris, Tip. This man is one of the GOATs. He's one of the greatest of all time. He is a great rapper, a decent actor. I've never seen him in comedy. I know there's comedy. I never seen a full out session of his comedy. The tipster, yes, exactly. The tipster, the snitch. But he didn't snitch necessarily. I don't think he snitched necessarily. But he had the Crime Stopper commercial, because he said, "These ain't my bullets. Please get these out my hand, Mister. Please get these out my hand." On MTV Punked, which was interesting because it's like what Dave Chappelle said about. He said, "F Ashton Kutcher," because every time there's a black person on Punked, it's for something that's crime related or has something to do with the police or something like that. So he said, "F Ashton Kutcher." I'll never forget that. But anyway, this is interesting. T.I. has some interesting. He has an unrelated No series. He has his new single out is called "Let 'Em Know." He has a song called "You Don't Know Me, What You Know What It Is, and Yeah, You Know." I just thought that was interesting. Has anybody ever picked that up? Clifford Harris's choice of singles. I gotta switch that up. So glad I caught that. Okay, so I'll give the album 6. Almost. You almost had me, Bumba. I'm surprised at you, Bumba. I'm surprised at you. That was close. See, I caught myself though. I was like, hey. No. I'm not going to, even if you got a wrench, which I'm really surprised at you, Bumba. Try to slip me up. Try to get me. I saw that, sir. I saw that. These newcomers, these young people that come in during the rush, I understand them saying it, but I'm never going to say that on my platform if it helps me, if I can help it. Unless somebody wants to give me, $2,000 or something like that, then I'm definitely going to say it all day. Blank, 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 whatever it is. But T.I., he's an actor, he's a comedian, he's a rapper. He's worth somewhere probably around $20 to $40 million, maybe more, maybe less. But he's definitely made a name for himself. They call him the King of the South. He had an album called King in 2006. His next album is called Kill the King. He had a conversation with one of my favorite rappers of all time, Big Boy of Outkast, and he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna name it." Well, T.I. is talking to Big Boy. He's saying, "You know what? I'm gonna name this album, King." This is going back to 2006. He said, "All right, that's cool. That's all right, but remember, you're gonna have a target on your back. You're gonna have a target on your back, knowing that the fact that you're always going to be seen as the top, and heavy is the head that wears the crown," as Mr. Shakespeare has pointed out in so many in his work. So I'm glad I'm making headway with a racially tinged story at the beginning, and an Atlanta rapper, knowing that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. represented for Atlanta. So yeah, he's been known to be a trapper, a rapper that traps. He's been in a lot of illegal tie-ups and situations before, and it's just a problem. He has a good feature on Big Beast with Killer Mike. Huh. How did you listen to the album? It hasn't even come out yet, has it? I don't think the album has dropped, right? I might be mistaken. Kill the king. Yeah. He wants to bury his king in the South moniker. His crown. He had to keep his crown. Fair in reason is comical and real. Kill the King, the upcoming 12 studio. 12 studio. That's another thing. If you're in hip hop, if you're a rapper, and you have 12 albums, and they're strong, and they're critically acclaimed and loved and adored by the masses, which necessarily doesn't have to be a really good thing, just because the masses like it. I'm just saying that if you're able to perform critically and commercially, that's a good thing. Oh, okay. It's an older song. Okay, got you. Yeah. So it's to be announced. It's probably gonna come out in 2026. He has a single called Log Clay, something like that. This is initially on. He had an album called The Libra. He says, Big Boy said, it sounds cool. I like it. But understand, when you are king, you put a big bullseye on your back. You can't look for no favors. Life is a game of chess. And the name of the game is called Kill the King. That's what you were setting yourself up for. And at the age, I didn't think really much of it. But that was some wise words that he bestowed upon him. Because that's what happened. He was called the King of the South. The object is to kill the king. And that's what chess isn't. Chess it shouldn't be life, but life is chess. If you understand what I'm saying. I remember once again, Miss Rand, Ayn Rand said, she was talking about how chess, can be a very vital part of, using your mind, using your thoughts, strategizing and using tactics and stuff like that for just for play, just for leisure, and sometimes and some people's work is but some people like some of the best chess champions, get so worked up and delve so deep into their world of chess that they don't have time for what life is about, and productiveness and romantic relationships. So that's very sincere. That's very serious. I think that with Ti, he has the ability to be he has the ability to be very forthright and very straightforward with what he says. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't play around. He's got his Grand Hustle Records. That's a beautiful thing. He has his own record label. It was founded in 2003, 22 years ago. So, it's my favorite songs. I guess top 3 would be, "But You Don't Know Me." And then number 2 would be, "What You Know." And number 1 would be "Live Your Life" with Rihanna. Those are my top favorite songs. Oh boy, wow, okay. Evie, yes, thank you for hating. Thank you for the hatred. Thank you for the hatred. I need that hatred. That motivates me. That saying all that stuff that you just said, and then what day is it today? Oh, and I have some nigger jokes. I have some nigger jokes for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. What is it? Hold on, I had it. Hold on. can't think of it. I'm trying to think of there's one. Oh, how do you keep a secret from a nigger? How do you keep a secret from a nigger? You put it in a book. No, not crime fighter. You put it in a book. What is worse than being a nigger? Being a nigger lover. You gotta laugh at these jokes. You gotta take it one way or the other. You gotta take it as hurtful and harmful and oh my god, this is terrible. Or you say, you know what? Don't be a nigger. Like, don't delve into, don't feed into that those racist tropes. You know, that's the reality. There's so many good nigger jokes though. So I think that's awesome that he has Grand Hustle. Grand Hustle Pimp. We the kings right here. That's a jam. That's a hit. But it's going back, what, 16, 15, 17 years ago? Skylar Bigsby. If you have hate in your heart, let it out. Skylar Bigsby. Turn that jungle music down. White power. See, Mr. Choice Out Terrain had White Power Wednesdays, where he had people calling and saying, all kinds of things, promoting white people and white power. Dave Chappelle took it into a different direction. He took it to a different way with Clayton Bigsby, the black blind white supremacist, which was brilliant. Which was a brilliant sketch, just awesome. Because it was produced like it was a frontline documentary, and the production value was high, the acting was great, and I loved at the end he divorced his wife. Why? He said because she's a nigger lover. The irony, right? He's black, she loves him, he's supposed to love her. But he can't love her because he's black, and that would mean that she would be a nigger lover, and he can't go down for that. Brilliant. That's the great mind of Dave Chappelle. That's brilliance, and his writing partner, I think, what's his name? Oh my god, I gotta cheat. Hold on. Hold on. Neil Brennan. 28 episodes across 3 seasons. That's real sad. Such a great show. Terrible what happened to it. So, it's just a great show. Chappelle had a set with a reference to T.I. He said that T.I. was sitting in a purple Rolls Royce. He thought, you get driven around in Rolls Royces. He was driving it. And he goes up to these water boys. The water boys, if you're not familiar with them, they're in Atlanta mostly. They're probably all over the country and the world. But they hand out cold, bottles of water to the motorists who are stuck in traffic that are, overwhelmed by the heat if they didn't have air conditioning or something like that, which most cars do. So I don't really understand. Or maybe they're just thirsty. Maybe they want to help out the young boys, keep them off of selling drugs or something like that. He takes the hood off. Yeah. Neil Brennan, show us your face. We want to see your face. His brother Kevin is crazy. Kevin Brennan. I didn't realize that. I gotta look him up. But anyway, he was talking about Ti. Ti was like, he was talking to the water boy. He was like, you got to be courteous. You got to act like a gentleman. You got to say please and thank you, and make sure you make sure you keep those bottles looking very cold and chilled, and let the person know that they're gonna get a quality beverage. And he was just like, the kid had his hand out for the dollar. He was like, I already gave you the game. Now you keep going. Like, and he rolled up the window. He just gave him game. He just gave him the instructions, the way to maneuver, to function in that specific manner. So that was kind of cool about Ti. That little story about Ti, I thought was cool. Um, that kind of motivated me, because that's a beautiful thing. The Water Boys, people have been talking about the Water Boys. The Water Boys, they're kind of like the 12 o'clock boys, but different. There's obviously difference. But these young men of color mainly, doing stunts on motorbikes. Usually, bike on 12 o'clock. That's what it means. That the 12 o'clock, the position like on the clock, on the face of a clock. 12 o'clock is straight up and down. That's when you have the motorbike in the air. But this is different. The water boys are trying to get paid. They're trying to get money out here. Oh, he's Bobby Boucher. Are you serious? You serious? Hold on. I have to make sure. Hold on. Hold on. Personal life. Okay, Kevin Brennan. Yep. Yeah. He competed unsuccessfully against a 19-year-old Dave Chappelle in 1993. God damn. He has a small role in Half Baked. That's cool. But that's the thing that I always wondered about Ti. Like I said, I have never seen a full concert, stand up. I never seen a full stand up routine by Ti. I wonder what it's like. I have to check into it. I have to see if there's a video available on YouTube explaining his role on as a stand-up comedian. But he grew his hair out. He added in intricate braids. But I think he's cutting it all off now. Um, that's what I think is happening. But I just see, I never saw Ti as a comedian. Maybe he got laughs. Maybe he was, mediocre. Maybe he was terrible. I don't know. I have to check it again. But I really like the fact that he had the ability to do that. That's what I think is pretty cool. Why do you say Bobby Boucher? I'm confused. Why do you say Bobby Boucher? So I don't understand why you said that, Bumba. Bobby Boucher. Yeah, Waterboy with Adam Sandler, but I don't. He's not in Waterboy with Adam Sandler. That's why I'm confused. He was in Half Baked. I don't see him anywhere. So on Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, one of Atlanta's brightest stars, is in the news. I think that's cool, kind of cool. That's powerful. We have to take him seriously. We have to take him at his word that he's hanging up the rap mic. I guess he's just gonna continue with business ventures and maybe acting even more. Maybe get behind the camera. Maybe have his own film studio. I mean, I think that would be cool. All the people that get together and put their money up and get film studios. That'd be awesome. Like, I don't understand why people haven't done that already. Like I said before, Tyler Perry, another somebody that was associated with Atlanta, Georgia, or just Georgia in general. Billionaire. He owns 100% of all his works. Everything. He owns every mother thing. MLK versus Malcolm X. We're not gonna do that. That seems so cliche. Everybody wants to do that. That's like Biggie versus Pac in a very low key, degenerate kind of way of looking at, oh yeah, Malcolm X versus MLK, who was better? I don't like to separate them. I like to say they're on two different wavelengths. They had different agendas. They had different ideals. They essentially had the same demise. I said this before. I think I said this in a recent post. How Malcolm X was like, I hate you, white devils. I'm going off of Patrice O'Neal right now. By the way, this isn't the original, but Patrice O'Neal was just like, I hate you, white devils. You ain't nothing. Then he goes to Mecca, comes back. Oh, we should be peaceful. We should have hand in hand. We should be, the white man and black man should be cool. And get your hand out my pocket. And what happens next? Then MLK, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he said that the Vietnam War has to stop. We have to put an end to the war in Vietnam. And Sammy Davis Jr. said it. He said, once you step out of your lane, once you step out of your comfort, not your comfort zone, but out of your what you're known to be doing, and that's what his Malcolm X was known to be against the white man in that regard, pro black, everything was black, and MLK, he said that what is that? Millman was Biggie, Malcolm was Pop. Yeah, no. I can see where you're going, but not really. Not really. That you can't make that analogy. He says MLK was Biggie. Bumba says MLK was Biggie, Malcolm was Pac. You can't. No, I disagree with you, sir. Disagree with you completely, totally. Completely disagree with you. So, but Biggie, excuse me, I'm Biggie on brain now. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He said, we're all about peace. We're all about, unity of the races and stuff like that, and unity of all that. And that was cool. That's nice. Then you start talking about the Vietnam War. Oh, no. No, you're not. Sorry. Pow. Memphis, Tennessee. Shots rang out. Or a shot rang out. That was the sad part about all that. that's the power, though. This is the sad power of ideas. It's all ideas. It's all thought broken down. That's what it all costs. Cost your life. Cost them their lives. Malcolm X had boots on the ground. He stood up. He went to different areas and places. He didn't just talk it, he walked it. So you got to respect that. He didn't just get up on a podcast with a hat and tie and shirt and say, smash that like button. Smash that white like button. My brothers, my sisters, that's what you need to do. That's what needs to happen. Plymouth Rock, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. That's the same thing. We have to look at it like that. That's how we have to evaluate this. That's the way it goes. Max Visions, when was I not in a good mood? Are you back in a good mood? Max Vision has the weirdest, conversations. Are you sending me $100 on my Cash App, my Venmo, or my PayPal? That's the real question. Max Vision Films. Oh no! Oh, that's too much. That's too much. That's beyond the pale. I can't be involved in that. No. That's no. When you blocked everyone the other day, I didn't block everyone. I blocked maybe 2 or 3 people. I didn't block everybody. And I was in a good mood then. They violated. Anybody who violates gets blocked. I don't block just to block. Anybody who violates is definitely going to go for a block. That's what it is. So again, Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. What's it going to be, Max Vision? Oh, I didn't get paid yet. They'll have all kinds of excuses, all kinds of ways to try to get out of it. Oh, well, I didn't really exactly get that much. I didn't really, I actually have to, pay my car note, and I have to pay my rent. It's not gonna be enough. So I block people not just to block people. I block people for a reason. There's a reason behind everything I do. There is reason. Reason. And that's what will cure everything. So I just, take it all as, count it all joy. Atheists, count it all joy. It's the best way to understand that. I'm looking at the game. I'm looking at the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks. Hawks, the Bucks came back. They were down. They were really awful on the arc. They have a chance to win. They're within 4 points now. They were down by 15 or 17 at one point. That's how I checked. But hey, thank you for bouncing with me. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting people know, spreading the word. Let everybody know about Sky Saunders on YouTube. And I will see you sometime tomorrow. Happy MLK Day.